Hi everyone, just a quick video just to go through really quite a lot of questions seem very similar from PDIs. Just a little tip from PDIs who are preparing for part 3. The 17 competencies have been designed to rapidly fall down, or the PDI to rapidly fall down if you don't get that first competency right, or you're not keeping it client-centered, as in did the trainer identify the pupil's learning goals and needs? So that's learning goals, their learning goals, not your learning goals. I know there's some PDIs that have gone for a lesson, gone for the part 3, and they've picked an amazing lesson, an amazing route that would suit that lesson theme, but they've not actually dealt with a need. So that to me is something that's missing in the learner's knowledge, or something that they're struggling with that you should have noticed really before you've got to that part 3 that you're working on, and let that inform the theme as well. So if that person is struggling, maybe stalling at junctions, or struggling with observation at junctions, the lesson theme is junctions, but the learning goal is, by the end of the lesson, we're hoping to get you safer with excellent observations with less help from me, or we're going to get your clutch control better and competent when emerging from junctions with less help from me, or it could be when approaching the correct gear. Something specific that you're working on, not just that you're going off to do a lovely route that you've timed and something completely unrelated to what that learner needs to work on. Don't forget, there's mastery and spiral learning. Mastery learning is very much how DVSA will take what they're looking at. So they'll be looking at you as a trainer who should have made or helped that learner master the skill before they've moved on. So when we look at whatever sort of syllabus you're working from that you've designed, it should be linked to the national standards for driver and rider trainers. If that's not linked, there's major problems there. So that should be linked straight away, whatever checklist, or you want to call it syllabus, whatever you're doing. But we generally start with moving off and stopping. Then we go on to very basic junctions, so approaching junctions and emerging from junctions to turn right or left. Now you can break it down however much you want, but if you're picking up a learner who is stalling and can't change gear without looking, and you're getting them onto what I call secondary junctions, like roundabouts or crossroads, you've got to question, have they mastered moving off and stopping, or have they mastered the basic junctions before you've moved on? And that's where I think a lot of PDIs are falling down. So if they haven't mastered the topic that's easy for them, so moving off and stopping, for example, we may go on to a right or a left turn, either approaching or emerging. We may join the topics together, but you're keeping the learning basic so that their skills, it's easy for them to acquire the skills each lesson, rather than picking a subject that's way beyond their capability, like sort of busy roundabouts or dual carriageways, when they can't even change gear without looking down. Again, you'll fall down on risk management, because if that person's looking down at the gear stick when changing gear, or stalling at junctions, why are we taking them onto roundabouts, dual carriageways, rural roads? Why are we doing that? Because we're now into a situation where we're at risk now, and we're putting risk to other people around us. I hope that's helpful. I know it seems it's hard. I know what you're going through when you're choosing what to do and which pupil to take for your part 3, but please take whatever pupil, whoever is going with you, please keep it client-centered and look at what they need to do. look at it from a basic point of view. Have they got the basics under control? If they haven't, then why don't we do a lesson on moving off and stopping? It doesn't have to be boring lesson, it can be quite creative. We can do the basic moving off and stopping. We could also do moving off and stopping on hills. We could even increase that to steeper hills. We could even go to bring that onto a junction emerging on hills. But whatever it is, there needs to be a focus on what that learner needs to do. So if it is moving and off and stopping, then generally we think that in terms of a complete beginner. It isn't always. I know people who are coming up who are actually very good with all the roundabouts, very good with what we call secondary kind of junctions and more complicated junctions, filter lights, box junctions, absolutely fine with them. But ask them to pull up in a convenient and safe place and they really struggle. So again, I don't mind doing a lesson moving off and stopping. We could take them to busy roads. We could take them where it maybe isn't appropriate to pull in and get their knowledge better. Do they understand what the lines mean at the side of the road? Are they looking for a junction opposite? There's so many layers you can add to that lesson, but please, please, please focus it on the learner's need, not your need, not what you're good at in terms of what you'd like to showcase, which, you know, we've all done in the past. I think we've all gone, oh, I like doing that lesson. Well, it's changed now. The whole system has changed to where you need to be focusing on that pupil and their learning needs. And if that isn't identified, the rest of the test will come tumbling down on risk management and teaching and learning strategies, because you just haven't chose the correct need, addressed a theme and focused on what that learner needs to teach. It's designed like that to fall down. So anyway, just thought I'd give that as a little tip. Please focus on your learner. Look at what they really, really need to work on. Need. Big word, need, not want.